From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning from the States. Good afternoon to friends. We got the conversation with Trent Friends Nutrition Edition featuring the lovely nutritionist coach, Catherine Githu. We got a couple of questions for Catherine this morning. How many eggs should you eat in a day? You guys going to be quite surprised what she says about eggs. You guys going to be quite surprised. She has this wonderful book that she's just released on eggs, and you guys will be quite surprised. One sec. Hey.
Hey, good morning. Good morning to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to Europe and Africa and whatever else. And good morning to everyone who is waking up.
Good stuff. How are you?
I'm good.
Everything's good? Good stuff.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. You were telling me backstage that this is a holiday for you guys over in France.
Yeah, today is 1st May. It's Labor Day. And so Labor Day in France means no one is working. I'm not supposed to be working.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a holiday, and here they really take it seriously. It's like we close everything. There are no public transport. Shops are shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I would say maybe 99% everything is closed.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, you'll get to relax here in about 45 minutes. So we'll be good.
Okay. So it's a pleasure to be here. So I don't feel like I'm working. I've been looking forward to this.
When you love what you do, it becomes effortlessly and easy. So hey.
Exactly.
It's good stuff. So eggs. I was ready for this one because I know you have all the information on the eggs with the wonderful book you just released on eggs.
Yeah, I wrote a book a few years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago now. The book it's what do you call this? Ebook. Mm-hmm. It's on Amazon, and it's about eggs. And how did I come about this is because when I started shifting my diet, like, okay, I can't eat all these carbohydrates, not really carbohydrates, but gluten is everywhere, right? And I was consuming a lot of, I was making a lot of pancakes at that time when I used to make gluten stuff. And so it was like, how do I shift to eating more proteins? Because now I have to reduce the breakfast that I was making. Could I just make eggs? And I just fell into an article that like, you should be careful with eggs, which is not really something that you find you go to Google, you type about eggs. Eggs are the most healthiest. They are the most healthiest food. They contain a lot of minerals and vitamins and all that, which it's true, okay? But we lack this information. Who are we talking to? There is general public, and me, I'm not talking to general public. So if this information, it's not for someone who is like, I'm super fit, I can eat 12 eggs in a day. That's not the person I'm talking to. I'm talking to people who are like me, like you, who have gone through health issues, and we don't want to survive. We want to thrive in this life, okay? We want to know, what am I putting in my plate? What is it doing to me?
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. And you came up in the conversation. I was like, I'm so blessed and thankful that I have a friend who's a nutritionist who feeds me things that I had no idea wasn't beneficial to my system. And
Yeah.
the conversation we had in private about eggs, I was quite surprised. Quite
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. We're gonna find out.
Go ahead, continue.
Pick up.
Yeah.
Okay. So today I am going to pick up I think there's 7. Okay. I'm going to give the benefits and I'm going to give the side effects, like what happened when you consume eggs at a large amount. Okay.
Good stuff.
What do they do if, okay? So the article is not here for like trying to demonize the eggs or saying eggs are not good. I'm just giving the benefits and the risk. You know which side you are. At least you're informed, right?
Right.
So we're going to start with the cholesterol. Cholesterol is a natural thing. Your body makes it, okay? It's made in the liver. And eggs are high in cholesterol. However, we have these science studies saying dietary cholesterol, it's not a great thing. It's not a big thing. Some people, you get to remove it because what your body makes, you don't really need it. But when you bring it in your diet, your body is going to lower the amount it's making, okay? So that it can use the one that you're using with the diet, you're bringing with the diet. However, the studies and the specialists who say it doesn't really matter because you can remove through excretion the high amount of cholesterol that you're bringing in. But this doesn't mean to everyone. There are people who have problems, like genetic problems, that they don't remove the extra cholesterol from the diet that they brought from the diet. They don't get to remove it, evacuate it. Okay. So the other thing is eggs. We have, I don't know whether you know about cholesterol. There is good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Okay.
Yeah.
So the eggs will promote in some individuals the bad cholesterol. And what matters with the cholesterol, and this is something that most doctors don't even do, it's they're going to look at the big picture of cholesterol. However, what you're supposed to look at is the particles, the size, okay? The smaller the size, okay, it's just like, imagine you're in a traffic road and you have big trucks, a lot of big trucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are big, okay? So they are slowing the traffic, okay? But the traffic might not be that big because these are big trucks, so they're taking a lot of space, right? Now imagine you have that the same traffic, but with small cars. You're going to have a lot of cars, right?
Right.
That space. Imagine one truck can hold maybe 6 cars because they are small cars, right? And these small cars, these are small cholesterol. They get easily into, they're the ones that really matters because they're the ones that are going to cause the disease. So when we're looking at the cholesterol, we're supposed to measure the small density, the ones that can get into the blood cells and cause damage, not just the whole picture. Okay?
Actually,
the other one is
it's funny. It's funny that you talk about cholesterol because that's what tipped me over with the bleed on the brain was the cholesterol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, and this I'll make another episode about cholesterol. Cholesterol is good because your brain has about 25% of cholesterol that you have in the body.
Really?
Yeah, your cholesterol is the one that protects the neurons.
Yeah.
So that's why the body makes it. You need it. It shields the organs and the cell membranes. Okay, so
Okay.
it's necessary.
Gotcha.
The problem is when it becomes higher, okay? And maybe for your case, for example, where if you had more cholesterol, that means you couldn't remove it from the body. And this happens when you lack some nutrients that are going to push it out.
Gotcha.
Okay? So the body is making it, that means it's important. But when you bring it with a diet, it can cause more damage to some people, not to everyone. Okay.
Good to know.
The other element is, we call it TMAO, You can type that in Google, TMAO. It's trimethylamine N oxide, okay? Don't look at about this scientific thing here. It's TMAO. It's a molecule that your gut microbiome makes. Actually, the gut makes TMA, and it makes these molecules from the food that contain more choline. Eggs are high in choline, okay, with meat as well. So to some people, especially now, here comes to microbiome. Depending which microbiome you have, they can make the TMA, and the TMA is going to go to the liver, which is going to be modified to TMO, okay? So what happens to the TMO is it can be inflammatory, and it can also increase cardiovascular risk.
Gotcha.
But you're not going to your doctor today and your doctor tells you, oh, let's check out your TMO. Okay? It's in science, but we are just maybe going to tell you you have high risk of getting cardiovascular disease, but we are not telling you why. Exactly. You might have inflammation, but you don't have why. But you're being told eggs are very, very, very nutritious, they're very healthy. So it depends. The choline in the egg with other foods like meat, it's going to be inflammation. It's going to cause inflammation to some people.
Let me speak to the audience here for a second. Something you said when you're talking about the TMA and the TMO. I see those things. I get a lot of blood work done and whatnot. And just speaking to the audience, it's very important that when you go to get this blood work, you ask your provider questions, because they're going to send you that stuff. As soon as you get the blood work, they're going to send it to your portal, and you ask the questions. That stuff is in your portal once they take the blood work. So when you go back.
Yeah, but
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry for cutting you. It really depends, because here, for example, if you go into the lab and they take your blood, okay, you can ask what are they going to look at, right? But when they get the results, they don't tell you what you're going to. They don't tell you about the results. They tell you go and see your doctor.
Correct. But here in the States, when you get blood work, they send all the results with everything, the name of everything they've done, the testing and everything to your portal. So you see everything that they see. But I'm talking most particularly to people in the States. It's imperative that you ask the questions. Like, I'm very familiar with the term she just used, because I always see it in my blood work.
Check it.
Yeah, I check it.
Okay.
So it's always, it's okay to question the provider. It's okay to question that doctor.
So for sure.
This is good stuff, Catherine.
So good. So the other part is the leaky gut. Okay. We're going to look at lysosome and gut immunity. So once again, eggs, they contain, they support the cell membrane. Okay. As I said again, they bring the cholesterol, and the cholesterol is good. They can be antioxidants if they are eaten in healthy diet. Okay. Now the side effect is the white eggs. Okay. They may lead to immunoactivation and leaky gut in sensitive individuals. Why? Because they contain a protein that is called lysosome, okay, that can bind to bacteria and let the bacteria get into the bloodstream. Okay.
Gotcha.
So that will lead to leaky gut, because once the protein bites to the bacteria and gets to the bloodstream, it causes havoc. It's going to create a lot of inflammation, because now the immune system has to attack. Okay. The other one is egg allergy. Most people don't think that eggs can be allergic, and eggs are one of the top foods that we ask people, especially when you're taking the autoimmune protocol. I think that's what it's called. It's like you remove the inflammatory foods. So you remove the eggs, dairy, gluten, and all that. Once again, they can be healthy if tolerated. But the healthy concerns here is the the allergic people. Like me, have allergies. Okay, I can eat eggs because I eat just a few eggs, but some people can have allergies, and if you don't do the journaling, like, okay, if you eat eggs, what is going to happen? And knowing that sometimes if you eat eggs with other foods, you never might know it's eggs, because for you, you have been told eggs are healthy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So the reactions can be inflammation, and can contribute to immunostress as well. You can also have rashes, skin rashes. The other one, most people, especially the athletes and sports, people who do sports and people who are doing muscle building, they always swear by BCAA, chain amino acids. You know them?
Yeah. Nah, I don't.
Okay. I hear a lot of people talking about it, like, yeah, and they do take a lot of eggs because of they are rich in branch amino acids. Now, they support muscle recovery. That's why these people who are doing muscle building, they take it.
Right.
And they also, they help it during the endurance. So they are helpful, okay? But if taken a high quantity, okay, large amounts of them, they might activate mTOR, okay? This is a growth pathway. It's a hormone. I don't know whether it's a hormone. I haven't done research on that,
Okay.
but it's linked into accelerating aging, okay? And can increase the proliferation of cancer cells. Like mTOR, it's the pathway that it says let's grow, because it's growing the muscles.
Gotcha.
For people who are doing the sports, right? But now the eggs are going to make the mTOR be more activated. I did read once about the mTOR. It's like you really have to have the balance. You should not overactivate it, because once again, as I said, it's going to create that aging process to be faster, quickened. Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest here. Catherine and I had this conversation about eggs maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And before I had that conversation with Catherine about on eggs, I was doing 2-ball eggs before the gym every single morning. 5:30 I'm
Okay.
boiling eggs. After that conversation with Catherine, I don't even do boiled eggs. I
Well,
really don't.
I didn't say you remove them completely.
No,
They're
that's
still
just something
healthy.
personal for
Yeah.
me. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't do it
Yeah.
anymore because
It's like you just have to be aware what is happening. Okay.
exactly.
So that was BCAA. So the eggs in that part, they're going to activate mTOR and can cause cancer. The cancer cells can not cause cancer, but the cells can grow faster, okay, or go everywhere. The other issue is IGF-1. This is insulin-like growth factor 1. It's a growth hormone, okay? And eggs stimulate growth, okay, and can help in repairing. That is the best thing. They are the benefit of eggs. And they can be useful in healing and aging and recovery in athletes, as I say. But here, the healthy concern is chronic high intake of eggs may raise the IGF-1. I said it's a growth factor. What happens with the growth factor, growth hormones? It makes things grow.
Right.
Okay. So it can increase the cancer risk. Okay, because if now you had a small cell and it's being fed with, it has that growth factor that is there, it's going to grow more. Okay, that's why also sometimes we talk about the milk, for example. We say that the milk is for making the kid to grow, the calf, right? And so if we take the milk, we're having that growth factor that is coming, the growth hormone that is coming, and that hormone can make anything, because as we are not growing anymore, we are not kids. That's why the milk can fit for kids, okay, and adolescents, because they are growing, or maybe the eggs can be beneficial. But to a certain point, when you get to an adult age, you're not growing anymore. So when you're taking any food that has these growth hormones, they're going to make something grow. You get it?
Got it.
Okay, so especially this insulin growth factor can be problematic in insulin-resistant people. Okay, especially when it's also paired with hormone, with protein from animals, because they also come with the this hormone growth factor, insulin growth factor hormone. Sorry. Okay. Can eggs be anti-inflammatory? Yes. Can they be pro-inflammatory? Yes. What does that mean? That means they can be both. It's like what we say is a knife with a double edge. It can be good and it can be bad. Eggs can be double edge. Yeah, they can reduce inflammation, and at the same time, to some people, they can increase the inflammation. This is how, when we overcook eggs, for example, fried eggs, they come with mostly oxidized fat. Okay. When we cook eggs, like you make an omelette, and sometimes you're creating that, we have high heat. One, they damage, because the most essential food in the egg and the yellow, those are very nutrient dense, because that's the chicken at the end of the day when it's supposed to grow, right? So it has everything. White is more protein. That's the food that the chicken is supposed to feed. So the eggs, they're not supposed to be cooked at high heat, because you're going to damage all the good nutrients that you have in that yellow egg. Okay. Right. And how many people eat? You know how they eat here in France? They make omelette very, very, very at a low heat. First, they heat the pan. They put a lot of oil though in butter, and then they cook the oil and the omelette at a low heat, which means your omelette is like, it's not quite completely cooked. It's like
but
it's like
honestly,
it's like
that's how I used to enjoy my eggs. My mother used to make a sunny side up, and two sunny sides up, and not too much heat on it.
Oh yeah, but you look at some people, they cook eggs and you have they're browned. They're like caramelized. There is no food. That's no longer food. Those are, we call antioxidants, and the other side we have oxidative. Those are things that are going to oxidate your cells. There's no food anymore. You have proteins, and proteins, they have already reacted with the food, because the heat also denatured or does something, especially high heat works with the proteins. I'm not going to get into that. So so when you're cooking your eggs, especially at high heat, you create what we call advanced glycation end products. I have an article in foodandheal.com where you can read about that. And these advanced glycation end points, we call them AGEs. They literally, they look like, they make like you're oxidized, like they burn inside, like your tissues, your cells are burned. Just the way you see the food browning, when you eat the food that have those AGs, your tissues start browning just the same way. Wow. So that's one, depending on how you're cooking. So you really have to be careful, because when you're cooking eggs, you have those molecules that are coming in. Second, some ways of cooking eggs can create some molecules that are going to cross the brain barrier, okay? And that is going to cause the brain neural inflammation. The other one is caged eggs, okay? We talk about eggs, and I say, I'm not saying you don't eat eggs. When you're eating eggs, make sure, please, that your eggs are coming organic. The chicken are eating everything else outside there. Right. But that is not easy for everyone. It's like, because in the market, what you're finding, they are caged eggs. But caged eggs, because they don't run outside, they are fed grains and sometimes OGM. Right. They have more omega-6, okay? And omega-6, when you have more omega-6 than the omega-3, you're creating inflammation in your body, okay? So if you have to eat eggs, look for the pastured eggs.
Always
even
pastured.
and
Always.
always pastured. And you know the funniest thing, I buy eggs, and I like asking the farmers, what are you feeding your eggs with? Because I noticed that people who go to the market here in the city, they take the bread they didn't eat to the farmers who have chicken. And so I was like, I don't want to eat don't want to eat eggs that have been the chicken have been fed
Right.
gluten.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it doesn't make any sense. I am really against people who go to the parks and they start giving bread and I don't know what to the animals. Animals are not human beings. They're not, as even we are not adapted to cooked food as well as
They
we are
shouldn't be
supposed
eating
to
that.
do.
Right.
They should not be eating that. And so I asked last week, but when I asked a farmer, and he told me, no, we don't give our chicken bread. We used to, but we realized they swell, like they get bloated,
Wow.
and they lay small eggs.
Right.
You get? So be careful. If you have to buy eggs, please make sure they are organic. Pastured, not just organic. This should be organic. Okay. So that was for omega-6, which is going to be low in antioxidants and it's going to cause more inflammation. The other one is histamine and inflammation. Do you know anything about histamine?
I have no idea. That's foreign to me.
Histamine is a hormone that really protects us. Like when you have anything like your heart, it's a protective hormone.
Okay.
However, in some people, especially when you have people saying they have allergies, like here I am, they have high histamine. Okay. And so like, yeah, for me, I lived for years with antihistamine because you have to bring the histamine, you make your body not to produce histamine because when you have high histamine now, you become allergic to most things. And people who have histamine, they don't eat cold, they're not supposed to eat cold stuff because they're going to increase that. And some food as well. There are some foods you go on a diet that is antihistamine so that you can tolerate because it can be really active. Right. So when eggs are cooked properly, they can be okay. But egg white may liberate histamine or symptoms in sensitive individuals. Cooking style and gut really matters, okay? So when you eat the egg white, like now the people who do the antihistamine diet, I'm not going to eat the white eggs, okay? Because it's going to exacerbate the release of histamine. Okay, you have any questions so far?
Actually, I have a question on protein in eggs, but I'll wait.
Okay. So the histamine can cause fatigue, skin issues, and inflammation. We go to our next one is molecular mimicry and autoimmunity. Molecular mimicry. Mimic means I'm trying to mimic what you're saying. I mean, I think people do understand that, right?
Right.
So we have this, the egg proteins can mimic some proteins in the body, which can then make the immune system become overactive. Did I drive that home?
You did.
Okay. I say this again. White proteins might resemble your body's protein, and your immune system is going to get overreacted trying to act on that. That happens with some pathogens as well, right? Some viruses can get into your system, and they start looking as one of your organs or one of your cells, and now the immune system becomes confused.
So what happens when the immune system is overactive? Like what happens?
The inflammation, the inflammation. Autoimmunity becomes from there because the immune system is active all the time.
Gotcha.
Okay. So and one thing, your immune system is trained to attack, especially it only attacks proteins when the proteins are coming from the food. That's why, for example, gluten, proteins, eggs, proteins, dairy proteins. Okay, so it attacks proteins because most proteins can also resemble as your body. The problem is not that the immune system is trying to attack my joints. It's just like there's something that resembles my joints that is in the system, and the immune system is trying to, and that it can go to react to the joint, it can react to the skin, it can react to the brain. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So did I answer you well? It's
Yeah,
the overreaction. The overreaction can, like, it can overreact when it's not necessary. Like everything calmed down, but the immune system stays hypervigilant. Like it's not coming down.
Got you.
Okay. The other one is the brain and the choline, which can also cause the neuroinflammation. Okay. I said again, eggs are high in choline. They are one of the best foods that you can get with choline. And choline is very important because it's vital for the brain function. So you need it. Okay. Choline in egg yolk fuels acetylcholine, are vital for memory and cognition. Okay, so you need it, and your body doesn't make a lot. You have to bring it with your diet.
Right.
Okay, so the problematic here with the choline is what I said about TMO. Okay, the byproduct of choline metabolism. So when the choline is metabolized by the body, it creates TMA. The liver will take that into will make that in TMAO.
TMAO,
okay?
yeah.
TMAO, which is going to worsen the brain oxidative stress. So it's going to create neuroinflammation.
Right.
Eggs and insulin resistant and diabetes. This is something that I got shocked because when someone is told you have diabetes, what comes into your mind? You reduce the sugar intake. So where do you go? You go into the proteins. And what are the cheapest, easiest proteins to get? The eggs.
Eggs.
So you get the people with the diabetes, they take a lot of eggs.
Well, these days in the
right?
States, we don't have the eggs are definitely not cheap here in the States anymore. So
Sorry, it's not
I
cheap.
said, you said no, they're definitely not cheap. Like $10.
Okay, it's cheaper than meat though.
Yeah. Well, these
I
days,
also really.
yeah, it's crazy. The economy is crazy here in the States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but at least it's cheaper than meat. I would say. I don't know from that side, but at least here they're cheaper than egg than the meat. So, and also because we are told to reduce the red meat or reduce the meat intake, so people are going to go more into eggs because they are told eggs are healthy, right?
Right.
So, but frequent consumption of insulin resistant individuals can increase fasting insulin. Okay, I read that one again. Frequent consumption of eggs in insulin resistant people can increase fasting insulin, which will worsen the blood glucose control.
Right.
And the elevated TMAO, the one we just talked about, is going to increase the cardiovascular risk. Okay, this is still people with insulin resistance.
Exactly.
So in individual with insulin resistant, TMAO levels may be elevated, and the detoxification pathways of this compound is often lower, that they don't get to detoxify them easily. Once again, we talked about gut microbiome, and we know most of the people who have diabetes, people who have autoimmune diseases, their gut microbiome is somehow altered, imbalanced. Okay.
Exactly.
And I said that the TMA is normally made or produced by the gut microbiome when you eat some food, high food with choline. Okay, so high fat, high cholesterol meals increase insulin in insulin resistant people. Even without carbs, insulin resistant bodies will still over-release insulin in response to high fat and animals meal. Okay. I don't know whether I got that. I say that clearly. So it's for those who have who are insulin resistant, meaning that your body is not getting to take the blood, the glucose. The blood glucose is high, and it's the sugar is circulating. So you keep on producing the insulin. So you're resistant because your cells are not getting the insulin. The insulin is not opening the cells to get the glucose inside. Okay.
Gotcha.
So those were the key factors that I wanted to talk about. And so why is it not spoken in the mainstream? Because I looked at Mayo Clinic and Harvard, for example, the big sites where people would go for information. Mm-hmm. And they suggest that Mayo Clinic and Harvard now suggest dietary cholesterol is not a big issue for most healthy individuals. Once again, those are the most key point here. Most healthy individuals. And we have to really be careful who is healthy. Exactly. What does healthy mean? Okay. So, what is it? Meta-analysis show no direct causal link between moderate egg consumption, 1 egg per day, and heart disease. These statements are accurate for general population with someone who has normal weight, someone who is active, okay, you're doing sports, you're moving around your body, right. Someone who has low to no inflammation, so your body is not inflamed. So if you have any kind of disease, you have inflammation. Inflammation is not just pain that you feel. There is inflammation that you don't feel. That is there.
So in a nutshell, it's not for everybody.
No, yeah.
Exactly.
And people who are high insulin sensitive. So if you have no problem with insulin, that will be okay for you to have that one. And once again, we said 1 egg per day. Okay, that's what the research says. I tried to look at what would happen. What happens if you took 2 N plus eggs per day? Okay, so study shows 1 egg is generally neutral and beneficial. 1 egg per day. Frequent high intake, that is 2 eggs and more, in people with poor gut health, inactivity, or insulin resistant may increase TMAO, as I said, alter LDL, these are the cholesterol molecules, and so they're going to have more particles that are small and dense, which are more damaging, okay? They're going to increase fasting insulin, and if they're taken if you bring high cholesterol foods for a long time, because the body is supposed to clear at a certain point, your liver might not be producing the natural cholesterol that is supposed to. So you might be overflood, and the body is not getting to bring that out. So that's what we should be careful about. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, we're good. We're definitely good.
Okay. So I want to say this. Eggs are nutrient dense. They are high in choline, and choline you need it for your brain. They are good source of vitamin B12, lutein, and protein. 1 egg per day is safe for many people, especially with a balanced diet. What really matters for everyone, whoever is eating eggs, is that you have to have plant-based diet, plant food that are coming in large amount. Why? Because fiber is the one that is going to control how much cholesterol you have.
Exactly.
So the body is going, the extra cholesterol that is coming with the diet is going to be captured by the fiber, and then the fiber is going to put that in the bowel movements, and you're going to pull that. So if you lack fiber, your cholesterol is not going anywhere. It's not being evacuated the way you're supposed to evacuate it. Okay. So depending on gut health, genetics, and insulin, TMO, and all that, so we need to really care, not just say eggs are good or are eggs bad. What you're supposed to ask is this food better for the person who is eating it? And with what is the person eating it? Because once again, when we say eggs, we look like the English breakfast, for example. It has sausages, it has eggs, it has beans as well. Beans are okay, but sausages are not supposed to be there, right? And sausages, this is transformed meat, so it's coming with a lot of fat that is not good, that is saturated fat. So if you're just having your egg that is slightly cooked and your beans, I would say baked beans are the best things to eat, because baked beans, they have sugar in it.
Right.
But if you have your beautiful homemade beans and an egg, that is a beautiful, healthy breakfast.
Yeah.
So eggs are good depending on how you're eating them, who is consuming. Okay. So I am not here to say they are bad. I do eat eggs, and I actually increased to eat it. Sometimes I was just eating 2 eggs in a month, like just for fun. But then I started seeing, like, in my diet, since I don't eat, what do you call this? I don't eat grains, and I don't eat legumes, because they make me react. And so for me to convert, I need my methionine and some proteins. I need the whole protein to convert, to create the choline in the body. So I had to increase taking not 1 egg per day, but at least 4 eggs a week. And I have to boil them slowly. So, and the fact that I'm also eating a lot of fiber. I eat a lot of plants. So I'm okay with that. So depending what else you're eating, yeah.
Again, for me, got to be honest with the audience.
Yeah.
After that conversation on eggs 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I took it out of my diet. It's
Yeah.
just
But
me personally. And I
for you,
said that to say each of us are individually made and designed, all the way down to the
for
follicle hair
sure.
on their head. So
Yeah. It's
me,
more,
that's
yeah.
worked for me. Yeah.
Because you also have fish that is coming in, right?
Yep.
You said you eat chicken as well, white meat.
Yep.
So for you, it's okay.
Yep.
You get? Now, for me, I don't eat meat. I don't eat. So
Right,
the only way I can get that choline is, okay, let me get that. And so I say, once again, you're not here to justify anything. It's you
right.
feel where you are. We are here to inform. We are here to say, okay, this is what is working. This is science. This has nothing to do
Right.
with how I feel or I don't feel. This is really science. And this is like we say, the backside or behind the scenes. What are the eggs doing to your body? If you have a compromised gut, if you have diabetes, if you have problems with cholesterol, and if you are inflamed, you have allergies, you have high histamine, all these things, and especially things that we wouldn't even think about, is about the blanched amino acids, because many people take that thinking these are excellent stuff to do. So being here, this is just to inform. So
And I want to hover over this point before we get off. We'll finish off for today, about 3 minutes here. Just like Catherine just pointed out, that I could afford to take the eggs out of my diet because I do chicken and I do fish, so I'm supplementing that.
yeah,
So what the benefits that I usually would get from eggs, I get it from the chicken and the fish. It's very important to know, man. Just like she mentioned,
yeah,
you know, if you're having a breakfast, a balanced breakfast, you talk about
yeah,
eggs and you're talking about, something in fiber and whatnot, but you're having processed sausage.
Yeah,
It's not good.
exactly. It's
Not good.
not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's just like the way we would say also, look, for example, if I have allergies, like I'm saying, quote unquote, it's not me, but if I have an allergic reaction because I'm taking a sandwich where there is egg and there is gluten at the same time, you're so mostly going to say that is gluten. You
Exactly.
never point that into the egg.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So it's very mindful.
So,
You guys got to be very mindful what you're consuming, man. And when they
yeah,
say a balanced meal, is it really a balanced meal?
it's really a balanced meal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can, and I no longer go to the balanced meal where you have carbohydrates, proteins, and fat, but you can have that balanced meal in the nutrients. Like, I wouldn't have ever thought, like, just by eating plants and you have that full plate that is really combined. Like, you can say, okay, I had my chickpeas here for the
Right.
proteins, right? I have my salad here, so I'm eating my vegetables. And let's say in that salad you have some fat in it, right? That could be
Right.
still, and maybe you have your rice in there, right? So that is a balanced diet in someone that can say, okay, I have my proteins, I have my carbohydrates, and I have my fat, and I also have these green stuff that are going here. But when you look deeper, when you open the magnifying glass, you can see you're lacking some nutrients in there
Exactly.
because, yeah, so we need to be very careful. It's not just eating to feed and to have calories, it's to eat and sustain health. You will build. For me, when I am working with women, I'm talking about removing what is causing inflammation, reducing inflammation, that is, and so you repair. So you eat food that is going to help you repair, and you restore. You're restoring your gut microbiome, the balance, and also you're restoring energy, right? So you're not just eating to survive, you're eating to thrive in this life. So we be careful what you're eating.
Exactly. Hey, I got an idea. Maybe that should be the topic for next week. Is that a balanced meal? Is that really a balanced meal?
Yeah, it could be.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Okay, fine. Let's see, for example, what are you eating this lunch? You already had your breakfast. What did you take for your breakfast?
Actually, I haven't had the breakfast yet. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. It's still 8
Wow,
a.m. here,
it's
so
really it's a AM at your place. So what are you going to take for your breakfast? Smoothie.
I'm probably gonna have a shake.
A shake. What is in your shake?
It's a protein shake. No soy.
No deal. Depends with where you are, so it can be very healthy. You don't
Exactly.
forget there was no deal. There was no problem with soy before we got the world, the worldwide, the modelization, because before we never knew that Japanese ate soy. We
Correct.
didn't even know what soy was before that.
Exactly.
And there is also that thing. If soy could have just stayed where it was without it coming to replace meat, okay, I don't think
Mhm.
we'd have given a lot of buzz about it. So soy, it depends. I mean, if you just look at it as a bean, there is nothing wrong with it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to say this because
Mm.
I'm here in the States and Catherine's over in France where
Yeah.
they police everything as
Yeah.
far as anything
Yeah.
that you consume. So here in the States, you got to be mindful of the soy that you intake.
But for sure, I keep on saying that all the time. You have to be, that's what I say, depending where you are, soy can be
Yeah.
healthy. And yeah, even here, I wouldn't say like everything is it's policed like the way it's supposed to be, but at least we are much more protected than most of the
Way,
world. The
way,
European,
way
yeah,
more, way
they
more.
are more restrictive. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call it, man. As
Yeah.
always, you can catch us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Taylor Kennedy TV, and actually, Catherine, she just launched her YouTube channel where she uploads her podcast over there that she's featured on the conversation there. So good stuff. She's always bringing informative information, And as always, you guys can go to foodandheal.com for the wonderful blogs that she creates for you guys. And I tell you, man, it's life-changing. I'm not only just saying that because she's a friend of mine. It's life-changing because I experienced that. So good.
Thank you. And I will say yes. I've had several people saying it's really helps them to learn and to also have that alternative to the diet. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Can you imagine, folks, if I had to pay for all this information and that this young lady gives me? Because she's always giving me information away from the cameras and very beneficial to my health. Can you imagine what that nutritious bill would be? So I'm indebted to Catherine Githu, nutritious coach Catherine Githu. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. You want to close us out?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for letting this happen, and thank you everyone who is watching, everyone who is listening, and who is going to listen this in replay. I'm honored to be here, and thank you, and looking forward. Have a nice fast May. The year is almost halfway. That's so funny. We just started. So have a nice time. Thank you.
Good stuff. You guys be epic, and we'll come back with another informative topic on next Thursday. Good day.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.